Floyd! Floyd! I'll knock you out! He's sick, look at him.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Terri Harper looking to defy the odds. Terri Harper will head into her long-awaited and much-anticipated showdown with Caroline Dubois, knowing the odds are very much against her. But for the Denabi fighter, it's nothing new. Harper has been written off before, underappreciated for her achievements, seemingly on the brink of retirement for a number of years. A fighter perceived as being on the decline, but her demise has been greatly exaggerated previously. Harper believes that is the case again. Harper's only 29 years old.
29? Why would anybody think she's in decline at that age?
An age where she should be coming into her peak. It's a difficult argument to suggest that more success won't come her way, regardless of what happens at the Olympia on Easter Sunday. Despite being a three-weight world champion, Harper still goes under the radar somewhat. In 20 fights and 9 years as a pro prize fighter, only Alicia Baumgartner and Sandy Ryan have beaten her. Nights when, in different ways, weight was a definitive factor. After that painful defeat to Baumgartner at super featherweight in Sheffield, Harper moved up through the weights. She landed at 154, won a world title at super welter, but despite bulking up and adding muscle to her frame, the natural size disadvantages were obvious. Cecilia Brækhus held her to a draw in a messy fight. Size mattered that night. Harper then dropped down to welter to challenge Sandy Ryan for her WBO. Ryan was too much for her.
Yeah, Sandy Ryan was way too big for Terri.
And when Harper retired after 4 incredibly one-sided rounds, her future looked extremely uncertain, but Harper moved back down the weights to try and salvage her career. In September of 2024, Harper returned to lightweight and outpointed the previously unbeaten WBO champion, Rhiannon Dixon, a victory that made Harper a three-weight world champion. Harper was a significant betting underdog against Dixon, and retirement would surely have followed another defeat. But Harper boxed well on the night, using her greater experience to keep her career alive and kicking.
I actually picked Rhiannon Dixon to win that fight. I, like many others, thought this was it for Terri, and she pulled it out. She found a way to win. Last May in Doncaster, in her first defense of the WBO title, Natalie Zimmerman suffered her first career defeat at the hands of the rejuvenated Harper. The German only won one solitary round on the cards as Harper retained her title with some degree of comfort in her hometown. Harper joined the MVP revolution last July, but has had to sit and wait for her first fight with her new promoter. The wait is over, but yet again, Harper enters a fight she is widely expected to lose. Harper sees it differently. Caroline Dubois defends her WBC title and hopes to add Harper's WBO bauble to her collection in their big unification, which will be screened live on Sky Sports and ESPN Plus in the United States. Dubois is an 8-1 favorite to unify her division. You can get around 5-1 on Harper if you fancy the upset, but I don't. My heart is with Terri, but my head is with Caroline. The last 2 days in the build-up of the fight, you've seen Terri Harper sort of grow into the fight, start standing up for herself more. Not that she wasn't before, though more of her competitive spirit has been coming out the last 2 days or so, showing her strength, pushing Caroline Dubois, letting her know that she's in there with a live one. On paper, Terri Harper would present as the most accomplished fighter that Caroline Dubois would have ever fought, in spite of Caroline constantly tearing her down, belittling her accomplishments, her resume so far. And Terri sort of just took it on the chin. She was very passive at first. Now, you see her moxie starting to come out just a day or so ahead of the fight. I would like for Terri Harper to beat the odds. I would like to see her beat Caroline Dubois. I just don't think that she's going to. I think that speed and strength would have to go to the younger fighter, freshness. Caroline is a southpaw, whereas Terri is an orthodox fighter, though Caroline would not be the first southpaw that Terri has encountered. Rhiannon Dixon was a southpaw. Terri beat her. The reason I don't think she beats Caroline, though, is because Caroline has the amateur pedigree that neither Rhiannon Dixon or Terri Harper have. She is very fast, very strong, likely to go in there looking for the knockout because she's very confident. If she gets it and collects the WBO title from Terri, she will be integrated into the Ring IQ pound-for-pound list as Terri ranks in at number 7. Per the rules that govern the list, in defeating a pound-for-pound fighter, you become one yourself. Though Caroline would not debut in the number 7 spot, she'd likely debut at number 10, because in beating a three-weight world champion, She doesn't become one herself. Carolyn's resume isn't all that deep.
Terri would present as the first reigning world champion that she would have fought.
So she'll probably come in at number 10 if she wins, and I expect that she will. My heart is with Terri, but my head is with Carolyn. We'll see what shakes out on Sunday.
I think Mayweather is able to do a real boxing match at this point in age, which, to my point earlier, is Manny fought a 12-rounder 9-10 months ago, and Floyd has been fighting exhibitions against overmatched opponents. So in terms of freshness and who has been more apt and ready and able to do a 10-round or 12-round fight, I don't know what this fight is actually scheduled for. You would lean towards Manny Pacquiao. He's been more consistent in terms of that, at least in recently. So there's that, but I don't know. I agree with you, Champ. I think this fight happens regardless. I think Mayweather wants this fight. I think Mayweather needs this fight. The fact that there are reports that he's already taken an advance on the money, maybe a couple different advances on this, apparently from what Giles Mather, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, is saying, would seem that he's kind of backed into a wall in terms of having to take this fight as a real fight, which, again, he agreed upon, apparently, and signed a contract for. And to your point, Floyd has been in this business a very long time. I doubt he's signing anything that he doesn't understand completely.
Maybe Chris Algieri, like a lot of people, is giving Floyd Mayweather a little bit too much credit as far as what he does and doesn't understand and what he thinks he can do.
It's not 2015.
A lot has changed for Floyd Mayweather, for Manny Pacquiao, for the sport of boxing, and who's in charge.
Pay-per-view ain't what it used to be.
The basic idea here is that if Floyd Mayweather is sandbagging it so that he can have the fight turned into an exhibition, it's gotta be because he don't think he's got it anymore. He probably started that camp. He's going through the motions, trying to pick up where he left off, trying to do things he used to be able to do, except he's close to 50 years old now.
When you think about how it was that Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, it was heavily reliant on speed and reflexes, being able to time Manny Pacquiao's entry and meet him at the door with a counter.
Interrupt his rhythm, nip it in the bud, don't let him get anything going.
And he probably can't do that anymore at close to 50 years old. He doesn't have the reflexes for it, doesn't have the legs. He still wants to protect his legacy. He still wants to protect his own, but backed into a corner due to mounting debt and all the money he claims Al Haymon stole from him.
He hurriedly signed on for this fight, and now he's experiencing buyer's remorse because he realizes he may not be able to beat Manny this time.
Look at the mess that this is all becoming. There are threats now of litigation, legal action against Floyd.
As if Floyd Mayweather needed another lawsuit levied against him.
Why do you think that he would say, hey, this could be an exhibition? What would be the thinking and the reason, the benefit for Floyd Mayweather Jr. to do so?
The money and the negotiation tactic, and Floyd being in control. As we've known over the years, Floyd has been in control of every aspect of negotiation. Now he's not. With Netflix involved, with Manny Pacquiao involved, and Manny Pacquiao desperately wanting this fight, I've even talked to people on Mayweather's team, a video producer who helped put the fight together, who said Floyd was always talking about coming out of retirement, and the possibility of fighting Manny Pacquiao is huge, and breaking records at the Sphere would be something huge because, as everybody that I've talked to has said, this isn't just a fight, it's a sports entertainment event and something that would break records. All these things sound like something that Floyd is interested in. My only thought process here is he's not scared of the fight. He wants a bigger piece of the pie. That's the only thing I can think of.
Maybe you're overthinking it, Andreas. Maybe you're giving Floyd a little bit too much credit, assuming that this is all a negotiation tactic to get a bigger piece of the pie, not after you signed on the dotted line, not after you agreed to the terms as they were and went as far as getting cash advances?
Yeah, it's a little bit too late to renegotiate.
But that's what Andreas thinks. He thinks Floyd's not scared of the fight, he just wants a bigger piece of the pie.
I disagree. I think he's apprehensive. I think he feels he stepped in shit and he's now experiencing buyer's remorse out of desperation. He signed on to do the fight, but now that he's had time to think about it,
he's scared he's gonna lose.
Floyd losing his O and all of his money would reset all of the pieces on the board because for so long now, so many young boxers coming through have idolized Floyd and used him as their North Star, the shining example of what they can aspire to.
That if he loses the majority of his money because Al Haymon stole it, and he loses his O as a result of this fight, they're not going to deify him anymore. They're not going to put him on a pedestal.
Maybe boxing would be better off for that, whether you like Floyd Mayweather or not. What you can't downplay is the effect that he's had on the landscape, his influence.
They all want to move like him and be like him, do business like him. I can't say that boxing is better off as a result of that. As a result of a generation of B and C tier fighters negotiating like they're A-level talent, like they're Floyd Mayweather. Now every fighter with a halfway decent jab using a Philly shell thinks he's the next Mayweather. That, in tandem with other outlying factors in the industry, have made fights in the United States almost impossible to make based on the fighters' demands, the operational costs, it's inflation. And it is in part due to Floyd Mayweather. His influence.
Why do you think so many of these young fighters are in a rush to become free agents? Because they heard that's what Floyd Mayweather did.
And it's not realistic. You're not Floyd Mayweather. You're not as good a fighter as he was. This is a very different time, very different landscape to when he was fighting. You become a free agent now.
You might put yourself out in the cold.
So that if Floyd Mayweather potentially loses in September, if they do this fight, it'll reset the entire board. Fighters will have to look up to someone else as an inspiration and influence.
I think that boxing would be better off for it.
Floyd is a fighter who likened his own events to being bank heists. But if it's a heist, whose bank is he robbing?
Who's he robbing? The fans? Who is he robbing? The broadcasters? The networks?
It doesn't make for a sustainable business. None of it is good for the industry, has been good for the sport. So maybe it's time for Floyd to lose, because I think if he does, boxing can heal.
You think there's that much riding on a Manny Pacquiao win?
I don't think. I know that Floyd wants this to be an exhibition. He doesn't want it to count towards his professional record, where Manny wants it to be a real fight. Manny and Floyd are basically in the same age bracket. So why is Manny okay with it being a fight, but Floyd isn't?
Because he's nervous. It's because he doesn't really know if he can beat him this time. You're not going to risk litigation.
Do you want to risk Manny Pacquiao, all of the investors, and Netflix taking you to court? I don't think he would be gambling this unless he were nervous. He doesn't know if at close to 50 years old, he can beat Manny again. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, Arslanbek Makhmudov's trainer talks Tyson Fury preparation and landing one big shot. Arslanbek Makhmudov has the chance to re-establish his reputation as a man to avoid in the heavyweight division as he takes on two-time world champion Tyson Fury next weekend. After a successful training camp, his coach, Mark Ramsey, believes the Russian is well prepared to pull off the upset. An amateur standout with fearsome punching power, Makhmudov had been recognized as something of a divisional bogeyman throughout much of his pro career, with many heavyweight rivals unwilling to risk a fight with the Mozdok-born contender. All of that changed in December of 2023 when he previously overlooked Agit Kabayel produced a stunning stoppage win in Riyadh to hand Makhmudov his first career loss. Makhmudov bounced back with another early finish, but he was then halted by Guido Vianello in August of 2024, a loss which led many to question standing in the division. Since then, Makhmudov has had a point to prove, looking to show that those defeats were setbacks rather than a sign of decline, and that he remains a dangerous contender at the top level. Recent wins over Ricardo Brown and Dave Allen are his only consecutive wins since suffering that first defeat, and ahead of a fight with Tyson Fury, who returns from a 16-month layoff, Makhmudov appears to have regained his confidence.
If nothing else, he's a big dumb guy who hits hard, and Fury's been out for 16 months.
Gotta count for something. Speaking exclusively to Boxing News, head trainer Mark Ramsey admitted that the opportunity to face the Gypsy King came as a surprise, but one that the 36-year-old simply had to take. Everything is going good. We've had a very good training camp here in Montreal, lots of different sparring partners, and a lot of challenges, to be honest. This was a fun fight for us. It is a fight that we didn't expect at all. We're going there to challenge. We have no pressure, nothing to lose, just everything to gain. We can feel an atmosphere in the training camp. We are enjoying this moment. We've already fought good boxers, but after the last win with Arslanbek, we created a little bit of publicity. We didn't expect a fight like this. They offered us the fight and it was a no-brainer for us, especially with the age of Makhmudov. We want to go in and try for real. Ramsey also noted a renewed sense of motivation in camp. The motivation is better. Arslanbek has always had good work ethic, but you can feel that extra push from the team and from the boxer.
So they offered him the Fury fight right after the Dave Allen fight. You know that Makhmudov didn't actually look good in the Dave Allen fight.
He didn't. He labored. And if you labor with Dave Allen, how are you supposed to steamroll Tyson Fury?
Oh, well, that 16-month layoff might help. Ramsey highlighted that the fight with Dave Allen was ideal preparation for the clash with Fury, allowing Makhmudov to experience being the away fighter and deal with a hostile and vocal UK crowd. That Dave Allen fight was a really good experience, and I found that, as a coach myself, you can talk about the feeling of a crowd in the UK, but you have to live it to understand exactly what it is and how passionate the fans are. To go there, to win there, to feel the atmosphere was fantastic. We understand that there is going to be a big crowd again, but it is about preparing the boxer mentally for those things.
Maybe it did. Maybe mentally fighting Dave Allen prepared him. But tactically, Dave Allen is nothing like Tyson Fury.
Ramsey continued, it was also the first time reaching 12 rounds. We focused a lot on that in sparring during training camp. Even for 10-round fights in the past, we always prepared for 12. But to do that in the gym every day and to do it in competition are two different things. And I am very happy that he's had that experience before we go into this kind of fight.
Still, a Dave Allen fight is a far cry from a Tyson Fury fight. Against Dave Allen, you're dealing with a shorter, portly, flat-footed plotter who you really don't have to chase around the ring like you will Tyson Fury.
Dave is many times slower than a Tyson Fury, doesn't have his height, doesn't have his length, doesn't have his boxing acumen. Fighting Dave Allen in the UK may have prepared you psychologically to fight in the UK,
but it doesn't prepare you for Tyson Fury. So what should Arslanbek Makhmudov do here?
what Otto Valine did.
Put the pressure on Tyson Fury. Barrel forward, backing him up, backing him off, outworking him. Put pressure on him because he's in his late 30s. He hasn't fought in over a year.
You don't let him get settled in. You throw so much, so fast, so often at the guy, he doesn't have time to think, doesn't have time to gather himself and grow into a fight.
That's what Makhmudov's got to do.
He's not a boxer, Makhmudov. He's not a thinker. He's a mauler. He's a brawler at the very most. So now's not the time to be experimenting with new ideas. You do what you do best and do it often.
It's his only chance, obviously. If Makhmudov were to pull the upset, it would throw a serious monkey wrench in any plans to put Tyson in there with Anthony Joshua, though I suppose if Makhmudov wins,
just put him in there with Anthony Joshua. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy!
In spite of the time off, Tyson Fury still is the betting favorite. Makhmudov is the underdog. Because as stated, if you had to labor and languish to win a decision against Dave Allen, it's a little hard to imagine you're going to steamroll Tyson Fury.